This is Blake Atwood with FaithVillage.com. Today I'm talking with Jason Caston, author of the iChurch Method Volumes 1 and 2, as well as How to Get 1 Million Social Media Fans. What inspired you to write How to Get 1 Million Social Media Fans?
Oh, well, that was two things. One, we're working with TD Jakes Ministries out here. We just passed a million, or no, we passed 1.7 million Facebook fans and 1.1 million Twitter followers. So I was at a conference last year, and I happened to mention that when I was talking about social media, and those numbers seemed to catch a lot of people's ears. And so when they started asking me questions, and I was talking about the iChurch method in general, but all they wanted to talk about was social media. So then the light bulb went off that social media in itself is just such a huge draw for people that I need to really write something that's just focused on just that and really tell them, hey, we started off with a couple hundred followers at the ministry when I was hired in 2010, and now it's 2012 and we're passing a million. So let me tell you how we got there, because it didn't just happen. They weren't using social media when I got there, and I had a set strategy when I started working with social media for the ministry. Now we have a team, so we brought on more and more people. So I'm not doing this all by myself. But when I started, it was just me, and when we started seeing great results, then we started adding more people and really building a whole entire department in the ministry, it becoming a focus of how the ministry markets itself online.
This may be an impossible question to answer, but did you ever see a tipping point in terms of numbers?
I did see a tipping point. When I really started to notice it, I would say about 6 or 7 months in, so we're saying late 2010, what happened was when the offline and online, the lines kind of blurred, and it seemed like the ministry saw how fast the Facebook page, we use Facebook for example, how fast it was growing. We'll say it was about a couple 100,000 just off of us continually putting out content and interacting with people. Then they started putting social media icons on all the offline content, any type of church bulletins, any type of any collateral that was being put out, anything, the monthly partner letters that were being mailed out, everything has social media on it. And that's when it just exploded. So we would go from, we started seeing, maybe 50,000, 100,000 extra people added per month. When you start seeing those type of numbers, then you realize that, something's really happening. And that was the inflection point. So once we saw that, we just looked at how all the parts of the ministry that we could integrate with social media and let everybody know, hey, in addition to getting this information offline or how you traditionally got it, we're also putting this out via our social media. And that's just how it went.
So in all your consulting, what are the 3 biggest mistakes you see churches make with social media?
First mistake I see is they think that let's just open up a Facebook page or a Twitter page and then they will come. I mean, there's no strategy behind it. They think that they don't know which is the best network for their church members or their followers. And I always ask them, when they ask me what is the best network, I say whichever network your church knows how to use, your staff or whatever. If you guys know how to use Twitter better, then start with Twitter and come up with a content strategy to get information out on Twitter and not just try and jump on every network. So that's the first thing, is just there's no strategy behind it. The second biggest mistake I see is trying to put it all on the pastor. The pastor is the only one doing social media. He's the only one doing the website. The pastor's trying to do everything in addition to preach the sermons and run the church. So I try and tell churches, you may not be able to hire somebody, but try and find somebody else that can do it, because the pastor, for most parts, in churches I've seen, the pastor has been called to preach. That's his job. He does that well and minister to the people and stuff like that. But when it comes to social media technology, you try and find somebody else to take that burden off of him so that, he doesn't burn out. And then lastly, the last mistake I see that churches make is just not devoting enough resources to social media and just the web in general. And here's a stat I heard that can really attest to this. 75% of new visitors, before they step foot in the church building, they somehow connect with the church online, whether it be the website, social media, or some type of online property. Therefore, that makes these online properties the largest welcome ministry in the church. So a church will devote resources to the welcome ministry. When you go to the building, you'll see a usher maybe greet you at the door. guide you to your seed, tell you where the children's ministry is. They devote resources to that, but they won't devote the resources to the online properties. The website, looks like it was built by somebody for free, and then and the social media is just neglected because somebody in leadership doesn't understand social media, so it's neglected. So when I'm seeing all those things, all those mistakes come together, then you start to see churches really reject any type of online properties, when it's not that their online property isn't working, it's just the strategy behind it was doomed to fail from the beginning.